How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Poolside Cigar Reviews with Kirk. Today's a little bit more of my weeknight format. The only difference is it's Saturday morning at about 5:30. Gets pretty hot around here. I live in southern Arizona. It gets pretty hot in the summertime. And depending on what I'm doing, if I'm swimming, I might smoke a cigar midday, but generally I just won't go out and sit on the patio. During the daytime or even at night. This time of year, right now it's just at the end of June. It's our hottest part of the year. And so even in the evenings, the temperature is probably still 90 degrees or so, at 8, 9 o'clock. Which isn't the most comfortable weather for me for smoking cigars. But right now, we had a little bit of rain yesterday, maybe even last night. I don't know. But it's overcast, it's probably about 75 degrees, and it's gorgeous. You hear the birds chirping. It's a nice morning to sit on the patio and have a cigar. And, I wasn't planning on getting up at 5 today. Again, it's Saturday. But that's kind of my regular work week schedule. And I find that when I wake up, I tend to just be up. Even if I'm still a little tired, I tend to not fall back asleep. I'll just kind of roll around and be uncomfortable for a while. So I thought, why not wake up, have a cigar on the patio. And today I'm enjoying a good one. This is from Cornelious and Anthony. This is the Daddy Mac. Todd Vance is the national sales director for Cornelious and Anthony. And he was kind enough to send me out some samples. They have two lines right now, the Daddy Mac and the Cornelious. I'm going to review them both. I was actually going to do a review of this one this morning, but, with like the morning breath, and I brushed my teeth, and I was like, my palate's not in the best place right now to film a review. So, not going to do a full review. But, boy, what a great burn. I've had a couple of these Daddy Macs so far. Actually, the first one I smoked was the 6x60. And I hadn't smoked a 6x60 in a very long time. I'm trying to think the last 6x60. I've probably only smoked a handful the whole time. I mean, the only time I ever smoked 6x60 is if somebody gives them to me. I smoked a 7x70 that I reviewed. I smoked that Asylum Ogre. That's the only 70 I've ever smoked. But, I was surprised. It burned great. It was actually a really enjoyable cigar. It was still larger than I would care to buy. It just didn't feel as comfortable in the hand. Or, the mouthfeel was just a little off. I'm just not used to smoking a 60 ring gauge. To me, they just look silly in my hand. And I've got big hands. I'm 6'8". A 60 ring gauge just doesn't do it for me. But this 6x50 Toro is perfect. What a perfect burn. That's, it seems silly, but that means a lot to me. I really want a cigar to burn right and taste right. Those two things. That's really my only two criteria. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care who makes it. If it burns right, it tastes good, I'm gonna like that cigar. So I'm definitely liking this one. And I like the 6x60. I really did. I sat in the hot tub and I watched a whole movie while I smoked that 6x60. An interesting movie, actually. Since this is just a weeknight format, stream of consciousness, I'll go into it. The movie was called Smoke. And it actually had William Hurt and Harvey Keitel. Who else? There's some Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker was in it. I'm having a brain fart. What is her name who plays Rizzo? Rizzo from Grease. Oh, what the hell's her name? She's in it. There's a lot of big name stars in that movie. It reminded me of like a screenplay. Basically, it was Harvey Keitel manages they call it a cigar store, but to me it looks like a corner newsstand, kind of like corner news shop in Brooklyn. And it's basically just like the ins and outs of some of his relationships. William Hurt is a writer. He's got some traumatic history and basically they come to meet this young black kid, and he's got an interesting story. You kind of get to see everybody's story. It was one of those movies that as I was watching it, I'm like, yeah, this is okay. Yeah, this, the dialogue was good. The acting was good. Although, honestly, Harvey Keitel was fantastic. Harvey Keitel, that guy's great. William Hurt, for as good as I know he can be, I think it was something about his accent. Didn't really care for William Hurt's accent all that much. He was doing like a Brooklyn accent. And it kind of came off as William Hurt doing a Brooklyn accent. But it was one of those movies that, I don't know if you ever have those, but you watch them, and maybe at the time, you're like, yeah, that's all right. But then it just kind of sticks with you. For the rest of the night you're thinking about it, and then maybe the next day you're thinking about it, and then when it's all over, you're thinking, I'd almost like to watch that again. That was actually really good, because it had a very strong ending. I think that was, maybe that's what brought it around, is that the ending was very strong. And I don't know, maybe I should, I don't know if that gives anything away, or hopefully that doesn't, if you choose to watch it, it's available on Amazon Prime. That's why I watched it. And I watched it because I was looking for something about cigars, like a documentary or a movie, I don't know, it came up, because I was smoking a cigar in the hot tub. And so that's why it came up. Pretty decent flick. I would recommend it. I never heard of it. I don't think many people have seen it. It's from the early, mid-90s, something like that. So not a new movie. But, let's see what else is going on. Not too much. Yeah, when you wake up in the mornings and the weekends, for me, I just like to get up and either start doing things or take a little leisure time. But to me, it's just, I would rather get out of bed than roll around for an hour and a half. I kind of do, I feel like I get more out of my weekends if I wake up early. Again, whether I'm productive or not doesn't really matter. It's just out of bed, enjoying not being at work. And it's gorgeous. Lots of smoke off this cigar, really luxurious. And I'm drinking coffee out of, this is my grandfather's coffee cup. It's definitely got some years on it. It looks like it's been well used and well loved. My grandfather just passed away like this March, and this was his coffee cup. So that was one thing I asked. My grandmother, she's still with us. And when we went out there for the funeral, they live in St. Louis. I did ask. I said, "Can I have Grandpa's coffee cup?" Because I remember, it's funny, the things that you remember as a kid. When I was a kid, I used to spend, like, elementary school, junior high, even high school. I would go out there for a couple weeks at a time in the summer, without my parents. I would just go out, and it was a lot of fun. My grandfather would take me fishing a lot. He lived, they lived in St. Louis, and they lived on Lake St. Louise, out in Lake St. Louis. So we go fishing out there. A few different places we go fishing. They had a creek that ran through their yard and a spot just across the road to fish in a little corner of Lake St. Louise. And I played golf while I was out there. They had a little par 3 course up the road that I could walk to. A lot of good memories in that house. They had a good basement, the ping pong table, and all kinds of old toys from when my dad was little, and my aunts and uncles. But I remember, I always remember my grandfather drinking out of this cup, and it was one of those things that I knew this was my grandfather's cup, and I always thought that this guy, let's see, hopefully it'll focus for you. So it's kind of like a cowboy-looking dude, kind of weathered, looking cowboy or prospector kind of looking guy, and I always thought he was just like some kind of ogre or something. I didn't really know what it was, a goblin or a troll. And even though I was plenty old enough to read when I was out there and seeing him drink out of this cup, I just always remember him drinking out of this cup. I never actually read the. I don't think I ever actually read the text. Like I said, the cowboy, he's kind of ugly looking, but good looks, a fine mind, and natural talent got me where I am today. And boy, that kind of sums up my family. We tend to be a little bit on the cocky side. We tend to think we're pretty smart, and we tend to think we're pretty good looking. So when I saw this woman back for the funeral, it really made me laugh. And so I asked my grandmother if I could have his cup, and she said absolutely. So this is one of my favorite weekend cups now. So definitely thankful that I grew up with a grandfather that took me fishing, and taught me a lot of things. And now I have his coffee cup, and that's a pretty cool thing. And it's nice, I tend to only drink out of this cup on the weekends. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's kind of a reflective thing, Help you think about life, be appreciative of the good people in your life that are there to help you out. And also remember, because this is my late grandfather's cup, that, we only get so many turns around the sun, and we're not here forever. So make the most of it. Be thankful for what you've got, and try to be happy. Good coffee. Very nice. Well, I'll go ahead and leave you with that. I think this has been long enough. Just wanted to check in and say hey, because like I said, I was going to film a review, but palette just wasn't there. But cigar's still burning great. Burning nice and slowly. And I'm happy. On this bright and early, overcast Saturday morning in June, in the Sonoran Desert. Alright, everybody. Take care. And until next time, keep your feet in the pool, a drink in your hand, and a cigar in your mouth. Have a good one.